banjoist Mark Cabbage, and welcome to today's musicmoose.org lesson on intermediate and advanced banjo. Today we'll be taking a fresh look at an old standard, Salt Creek, which was popularized by Bill Monroe and notable to the banjo community. Bill Keith's recorded version in the 1960s stands as a standard break today. So that we're on the same page, let's first take a look at a break that's close to the style that Bill Keith played back then. Now let's note that the song is typically played in the key of A, so we'll be using a capo at the 2nd fret today and playing out of the key of G. So that was the Keith-style rendition of Salt Creek. I'm assuming most of you as bluegrass banjo players are familiar with something similar to the break. So now instead of playing that, which is what you typically hear in a parking lot, let's take a look at a break I created for this lesson, which features a mix of Scruggs, melodic, and single string styles. This particular break features a mix of both licks that are reusable as well as a few twists on the melody, so hopefully you'll find it interesting and challenging. So let's take a look and a listen. So Salt Creek is played in a pretty standard AABB format. And let's just run through the chords here to make sure you understand how the progression works, and that will help explain how the licks that I played work over the song. So the first part of the song, or the A part, would be like follows. The A chord, D, G to E, back to A, G. So notice that the first set of changes, the E, or the 5 chord, is twice as long as it is the second time through. The B part chords to the song are much simpler and are as follows. A, G, If this is a little hard to follow from the video, don't worry, the tablature is available over at musicmoose.org. So now, let's take a walk through the A part of the song. Now what I chose to do here is a pretty simple Scruggs solo initially, and may even be a little bit easier to play than some of the standard breaks. So let's take a quick look at that. So notice here we just have a couple simple forward rolls with little pinches in the middle and a stop on the C, or the, I'm talking out of the key of G here, the D note, which signifies our change to the 4 chord. And then we change over to little pull-offs here. And note here how we end on the E note to signify our change into the 5 chord. And then we just sort of repeat it. Kind of an interesting little lick, so it works out pretty cool. Now the second time through the A break, I decided to make it a little bit spicier. I'll play it all the way through again, but let's just take particular note of where we end the 7 chord and start the last set of changes. That's kind of a little twist twist there to make it a little bluesier. And then we sort of work into this next lick. That particular lick is something that I've heard a few banjoists play in some form or another over the years. I believe I grabbed that particular idea from a Bela Fleck recording in the 1980s, but I sort of took it and I put my own interpretation on it there, particularly with the ending. What I'd really like to point out here is how we pushed the melody of Salt Creek to the limit, I would say, but then we came back and ended it with a classic Scruggs Crow lick. So let's go through this lick one more time here to make sure that it's clear. Notice how we go seamlessly from a Scruggs-style roll into a single-string lick to end that. For the B part, the portion over the 1 chord here, I decided to just play some simple forward rolls and just pinch it up a little bit. And sometimes those small things make a big difference on the feel of the song. And that will lead us into the 7 chord. On the 7 chord, I again push the limits a little bit, and notably the walk-down line ends on a G major 7th, which is a bit weird for Salt Creek, but it's cool. As a wise man who also teaches at the Moose told me, if it sounds good, it is good. So let's just hear that one more time. And then on the tag of this first time through the B part, I sort of re-emphasized the melody, but made sure to syncopate it a little bit by breaking up the roll, which also I think adds a big punch to the song. And then I just ended it with a little Tony Rice signature lick. Feel free to throw in whatever you want there. I mean, that's the point. You can put in whatever sounds good to you in place of anything else. Now for the second time around the B part, I chose to start the same, that is with the forward rolls and a little pinch, but then on the 7 chord, I slid up the neck to the 2nd position G. And note that it's still simple rolls though, as I pointed out. And after this G chord passes us by, I really stuck my neck out, and we played here out of the C position to sound very, very pentatonic or bluesy. I mean, really, it's almost a minor sounding. Sort of a little kind of inverted roll there that sounds cool. Finally, there at the end, after the C chord, I tagged it all up with a little melodic chromatic run, which just again ends with a pinch. And just note how we work out of the C chord and use the open notes to let us move up the neck. Right there, as soon as I hit the open first string, I'm going to move. And so that's my version of Salt Creek. In today's lesson, we took a look at how to add some fresh and spicy licks into an old standard, Salt Creek. The most important part of today's lesson, though, is to illustrate that you can put whatever you want into a song. If it's your own spin, it's a good thing. So I hope you enjoyed it and have fun learning it. If you have some trouble, though, feel free to private message me back on the site. So that's it for today. See you next time back at the Moose.